Hey, welcome everybody to How to Be a Texan. How we doing?
Woo!
Let's blow the top off of this thing. What's up?
Wow! Hey, how are y'all? Okay, today I'm playing the role of Andrew on the intro. That's usually what Andrew does.
and then my dad usually goes,
Wow! So today we're talking about getting a concealed handgun license. Is that right?
No, we're not.
Oh.
That is so non-PC.
very nice.
Oh, it's very PC.
That's just what we were talking
It's
about.
not PC if you do it without a license, but if you have a license, that's PC.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Okay.
No, today we're talking about something totally different. We're talking about bird watching in a beautiful Chihuahuan desert.
Nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
Where's Chihuahua? Is that Mexico?
Oh, well, it's on the border between Texas and Mexico, down in the Big Bend.
Oh.
Now
there.
that's a clock, right? And
No,
I didn't know that was in Texas.
No, the Big Bend is literally a giant bend in the Rio Grande River.
No, it's that clock tower in London.
It's London,
Well, it
and
could be.
I'm failing to understand the Texas reference.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I've been researching the Big Ben clock tower in London
Well, that would be how to be a Londononian.
and wondering what this had to do with Texas.
Yeah, that would be weird. So, hey, today we wanted to talk about
This whole
big,
thing's weird. We just need to start this episode over.
No, that's a good intro.
We've already gone from concealed handguns to bird watching to London to
bird watching
The
is
Rio
legit.
Grande.
I'm on task. I'm in scope.
okay. all
I've
right.
got a few friends that are really into bird watching.
I'm totally in scope.
Hey,
so
some of my closest friends are bird watchers. I mean,
name one.
Kyle Kirkpatrick.
I'm not a bird watcher unless it's a rabid hawk and then I kill it, which is
Actually, though, a couple of my closest friends are bird watchers.
Really?
Yeah. Austin Lee and Tyler Berger,
Oh.
Megan's husband.
well,
Can we conference him in?
Yeah,
Valley Men?
I'll call him up.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not all about bird watching. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Now, Big Bend is this massive, massive national park that sits down in South Texas. And so let me just ask: have you ever been to Big Bend?
Never.
Right.
Not to the national park.
Are
no.
you interested at all in Big Bend?
I would love to go to Big Bend.
Me too.
I've talked about it for years.
Me too.
I'll probably talk about it till the day I die.
It's on the bucket list for me, and I'll admit I have not been there either. But it's a shame if we are talking about how to be a Texan and we don't say great things about Big Bend and how many hundreds of thousands of people have been there and enjoyed it. Right?
Now, we did talk about on the Weirdest Places episode, Marfa. I think Marfa's kind of close to Big Bend.
It's close, but it's not necessarily in the
It's not in the
Chihuahuan
park.
Desert. No,
Yeah.
no. So the interesting thing is that Big Bend is this massive, massive national park, and it is approximately 831,000 acres. It is bigger in its entirety than the state of Delaware. Did you know that? Delaware.
Wow.
Delaware.
Wow.
You could throw Delaware in the middle of it, and Big Bend just swallows it right up.
That's amazing.
You know how many people die in Big Bend per year?
How many?
I don't know, but I bet it's a few.
How many people die in Delaware?
I don't know.
I don't know. Do a
not
lot of
quite sure.
people die in Big Bend?
I think so. I think hiking and dehydration and getting lost and all that. I think so.
So dark.
Well, I do think it's a real thing.
Yeah. I can
Like
see
if you don't know where you're going, you think you can get lost in 831,000 acres or 160 plus miles of the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande goes 160 miles through that place. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And so it spans across Texas and Mexico. So, there's no wall there. And so you've got Border Patrol all over the place that are viewing that through drones and through cameras and whatnot. But they can't see it all.
I will build a great, great wall.
That's a big wall to go
Well,
through
you
Big
had
Bend.
to inject politics into it.
I'm injecting geography. I'm just injecting geography. Right now, you were
complaining that there's not a wall.
I
there.
didn't say it was a complaint. I'm saying it's a massive.
I'm triggered right now.
Go ahead. Go for it, dude. Bring it on. Point your finger at me. Bring it, because I'm ready.
You have such an edge to you.
Bring it on.
I don't point my finger
Boy,
because
I
that's
do.
rude.
Boy, I do. But I tell you what kind of animals do you think are in Big Bend?
Oh,
Just birds? Do you think it's just birds?
probably a lot of snakes.
You think the chupacabra's down there?
I think so. Yeah.
How many predators
I'd
that
bet
we
money
talked
on it.
about? I think the chupacabra's down there. But how many predators are down there? What kind of predators do you
At
think?
least 5 or 6.
Okay, start naming them. Start naming them.
I would say probably coyotes are down there.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you think?
I'd say 1 or 2 snakes.
We have tons of snakes, and that's in rattler territory.
Yeah.
Right? But then we also have black bear down there.
Really?
We have
I
mountain
would not have
lions.
thought about that.
No, we got mountain lions down there. We got bobcats. And those are the big predators. And then you get the smaller predators that are always around.
No
Birds
coyotes?
of prey.
Oh, yeah, you got coyotes.
Coyotes?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Now, what's not known is if we've got any natural wolves down there. So I don't think we have any wolves, but we definitely have coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, and bears.
I didn't realize there would be bears. I just picture the whole thing as desert, but it's probably not all desert, is it?
No, there are more bears in West Texas than you would think.
Yeah.
Now, it's nothing like up in Wyoming and Montana and up through Canada and Alaska. Nothing like that. Or over in, all up along the Rockies. But really, they have migrated down to the Big Bend because there's a lot of game down there. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of of just natural acres, that Chihuahuan desert. Now you think of a desert and you think, my gosh, why would I ever go to the Big Bend National Park because it's just desert? Why would you ever go to a desert for a vacation?
Well, is it all desert? I don't know.
No, it is and it's not. So it's the
Yeah.
Chihuahuan Desert, but the beauty of it is the way God built it is the Rio Grande River just runs right through it all. And that's kind of the saving grace, but it has these amazing natural features to it. So when you look at the photo gallery of the natural features, you have these magnificent canyons that are up to like 1,400 feet tall.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just go for kayaking or canoeing down the Rio Grande, those 160 miles of the Rio Grande. Do you say Rio Grande or Rio Grande?
I say Rio Grande.
You do?
Grande.
Grandy?
Grande. Grande.
Like Grandy's chicken?
Grande.
I say Rio Grande.
Yeah, or Rio Grande. I think Rio Grande is probably what I say
I
the
just
most.
caught you off with
I
that.
just say
Saying
Big
Grandy.
River.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, the desert's beautiful. I had to take some kind of Southwestern literature class.
Right.
I think it was in undergrad, and I had to read all this literature from like Native American stories and all this other stuff. And
Really?
a lot of it was about the deserts out in Arizona, New Mexico, and they would just describe these beautiful, landscapes. And
Right.
it was Native American literature, so it was all about how they were connected with, the earth and all this stuff. It was really cool. So I think the desert can be really, really, really beautiful.
Well, I think this part of the desert certainly can be beautiful. Now, if you go out to the Arizona desert, now that may be different. I think that's a different kind of beautiful. But the Big Bend desert in particular. So what kind of things do you think you would do? So the Big Bend is a real destination spot for tourists. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to go look at the Big Bend and you're going to go spend a spring break there or a week in the summer, a couple of weeks, and you take your camper out, and there's plenty of camping opportunities. But what exactly do you think you would do? You and the Holder family, if y'all went out to Big Bend, what would y'all do?
We would do definitely some scenic. They have like scenic drives that you can do.
Right.
And our family loves that kind of thing.
Yep.
So we'd definitely do that, take some
Right.
drives. When I was a little more into cycling, I really wanted to go down there and do some biking. I'd love to
yeah.
do that. In fact, I'd
Yeah.
love to kind of train up and do that.
That would be
So
cool.
I think that'd be really cool.
So that's road biking. I think they've got a ton of mountain biking.
I'm sure they
which
have
is pretty
a lot
amazing.
of that. Yeah.
Do they have any swimming in that river?
Yeah.
That big
Probably.
old river?
Actually, they have some natural hot springs that are offshoots of the Rio Grande, and it's pretty amazing. It's a huge tourist attraction. So that after you hike all day, or you ride your bikes or whatever, or bird watch all day, and you're famished, you just go jump in the hot springs and just
Yeah.
restore your energy.
They have
HP.
They have, other things you can do. They have like park rangers that'll take you on a tour of certain areas. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be very educational.
Right.
And then I didn't realize they would have this, but this says that they have fossils where you can go like discover fossils.
Oh yeah,
So that'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
like of other humans or.
Probably not. No.
Probably
Probably
like-
just
Probably like a snail.
it's really,
It's so boring.
it's really dark.
Sorry. Okay.
No, I mean,
No, I agree.
I'm
So-
sure there was some kind of prehistoric ocean over that part of Texas too.
Right.
You know, so I bet there's all kinds
Like
of
go
really
find
cool.
a T-Rex or something.
Yeah, T-Rexes, all that kind of stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or a velociraptor. What's your favorite kind of dinosaur?
You know, I think it's those raptors.
Oh yeah.
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 Because they're so fast and nimble and
If you versus a velociraptor had to like scrap,
yeah.
how do you think you'd do?
Oh, I'd totally win. Yeah.
You would?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Just check it. So going
No, probably not that, but I could take the T-Rex because he's got those little
back, tiny arms.
little tiny arms he can't reach.
I had a big dinner the other night. I was at some conference, and I thought about doing T-Rex arms at the end of the dinner because anyway.
because
but
you couldn't reach the salt and pepper.
I
or
can't.
something.
No, I can't reach the ticket whenever
Oh,
the ticket
the
came.
ticket.
That's
Okay.
when you get T-Rex arms,
Right,
and nobody
right.
wants to get the ticket, and you wait for somebody else to get the ticket.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but everybody else had greater T-Rex arms than me,
Yeah,
so I
so
ended
you
up,
just-
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So anyway, some of the activities are hiking, bird watching, river rafting, kayaking, stargazing, and birding.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the key activities that you want to go. And this is one of the greatest destinations. So if you do come or you already live in Texas, then Big Bend is by far one of the great. Now, I'll say ashamedly, Kevin and I, neither one of us have been there yet, but it's on the bucket list, and we're totally going to do it. So it's going to be amazing, right? We're going to do this thing.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do it sometime.
Love to do it.
At least that's my hope. I think I just want to get one. Our buddy Brandon's got one of these cool little itty-bitty, tight little campers. And that'd be fun just to take that down and just kind of, be one with the earth and all that. You good with that?
Get sweaty in a camper.
I would be glamping in Marfa and then just drive into Big Bend for the day.
I think the older I get,
What
the
do you
more
think about
glamping.
that?
I think the more glamping I like.
Yeah.
So I'm more on the.
Kinder's on board with the glamping.
I'm more on board with getting those like campers with the big pop outs, that
Yeah.
have the satellite TVs.
See,
and-
my fear is that if I do that once, I'm just going to get all obsessed with it and end up just going in deep on camper.
Shocking.
Yes.
I'm trying to lead you that direction because
Right.
I need to learn from your,
Right. I'll get
your
all
learnings.
obsessed with it.
That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I will say
afraid.
there's this article that talks about the 10 reasons to go, and let me just give you some of those. One, there's a music festival. Have you ever heard of the Big Bend Music Festival?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but it sounds cool. So if you're into music, you want to go hear some great bands play, go down there and then enjoy all the wonder of Big Bend so you can go explore and then come back and listen to great music. I think that sounds great.
Sounds like Texas Burning Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think so, Andrew.
Where everybody's running around.
Probably not as crazy as Burning Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
But a music festival in the desert.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then number 2 is the Terlingua Ghost Town. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd like to see that.
Sounds cool.
And then just to see the Chihuahuan desert wildlife. Now, what we talked about were the predators. What we didn't talk about is the rest of it. So there's always cute little cuddly stuff like the little chipmunks and the squirrels and the whatever that you're going to see. The deer, there's a ton of that. And that's you're going to see both kind of deer. You're going to see whitetail and mule deer. And it's fun to see the difference. As a hunter, it's a big deal to see mule deer because I'm so used to seeing whitetail, which is fun. Then you've got activity number 4 is what you talked about, the desert road bicycling. And then the driving, like the 5th activity is outer loop trail, all these troops. And then you get to the big hikes. And in particular, there's this one called the Santa Elena Canyon. And that's the traditional hike that everybody wants to do because you see these easily identifiable things like the mule ears. There's this one formation of the mule ears, and then the culmination of that hike ends with these naturally laid stones that they're iconic. So I'm sure when you look at kind of key photos of what Big Bend looks like, the mule ears is one, but there's this other one where these stones, it's just like, I don't know, a 1,000-meter person just started like playing Legos with rocks and put them in these crazy formations, and that's what you see at the end of the Santa Elena Canyon Trail.
And it's the tallest cliffs in the along that river,
Right.
up to 1,500 feet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks amazing.
And then on that 160 miles of the Rio Grande, there's all these tours, the river tours that you can do whether it's in boat, kayak, or canoe. And then there's the Hot Springs Historic District. There's the stargazing, which has got to be amazing. We talked about on when we were talking about Marfa about the Northern Lights. It's not the Northern Lights, it's
the
just
Marfa
the
Lights.
Marfa Lights.
Yeah.
And then I think the stargazing out there has got to be amazing. And then just the hiking. So, yeah. So who do you think lived there before us Texans?
I would just guess the Chisos Indians, maybe the Apaches, the Comanches.
You got to be kidding. You're totally reading the notes.
Huh? No,
You're reading the notes.
That's off the top of my head.
Chisos Indians.
I can look at the notes occasionally. Come on.
So apparently, before the Texans, the frontier settled in Texas, the Chisos and the Jumano Indians lived there apparently for centuries. But they were no match for the Comanches. Remember the horse warriors that came along? The Comanches these were the more farming Indian tribes that came through. And then once the Comanches came along, the Apaches traditionally didn't mess with them. They would come and raid on occasion, but they didn't move them out, the Chisos and the Jumano Indians. The Comanches were far more brutal. They came in, wiped them out, or ingrained them into their own tribe, took them over, and kept moving and followed the buffalo path. So the Apaches really kind of raided but left them alone, but they lived all throughout. You remember what we talked about? The Apache territory was really that South Texas, all through Big Bend and the Chihuahua Desert, moving all up through Colorado and New Mexico, and then the lower Rocky Mountains. You remember that? I was talking about the Apaches. And then the Comanches, they really roamed a huge swath down from Big Bend and the Chihuahua Desert up through the Middle West.
So what's the Comanche Trail?
The Comanche Trail is that Midwest, and it really follows the Buffalo Trail.
Okay.
So the buffalo, much like the geese, would come south for the winter and then north for the summer. And that was all their grazing grounds.
And so the Comanches
followed
protected that, but they kept others out of it so they could have all the buffalo?
They were just far more brutal.
Yeah.
They would come in instead of just kind of being, hey, what's up? And, I'm glad you guys are farming and having good. They would just come and wipe them out.
Yeah.
Or get all the women and children and bring them in so that it would increase their flock.
Yeah.
And the men were done. So
interesting.
Kind of bad. So, yeah. So, and then I've just got some pictures. I tell you, if you guys, I know it's like a podcast, but you can't look at pictures, but the pictures are crazy of some of these vistas that you can look at. So I would encourage you, if you can, just take a quick gander at some of the pictures of how beautiful Big Bend and just raw it is. You remember me telling you I got to go to Alaska as a young man in my 20s. I got to go there 3 years in a row, and it was amazing. And the one thing that I saw in Alaska was just this pristine, untouched by human vista that was breathtaking. So as you fly into Anchorage, going into Alaska, you see these just unbelievable sights of Mount McKinley and just raw, rugged land, just beautiful. Big Bend is exactly that. It is exactly the way God built it whenever. It's just raw and rugged. And that's when, I'm kidding that I'm saying people die there, but they've got to. I mean, it is raw and rugged, and if you don't know what you're doing, you are actually going to get swallowed up. So if you do go there, please know what you're doing. Please have a guide or know exactly where you're going to come in and out. And don't count on cell service to save your bacon by Google or Waze or whatever telling you, oh, by the way, you're 6 miles off the track. You are done. And then a rattlesnake or a chupacabra is basically going to eat your eyeballs out.
So I guess
I'm just saying.
I guess
it could happen.
Yeah, I guess in the 1930s is when they first Texas established it back in the 30s.
Okay.
And it was only 160,000 acres.
Yeah.
And then they eventually expanded it to about 700,000.
Was that part of the New Deal? Or is that just FDR just doing more and more national parks?
I think eventually it was, but in the 30s, this was just in Texas. It wasn't a federal thing yet.
Okay.
So Texas had kind of created a small, and then they eventually, in 1944, Roosevelt established Big Bend as a national, federal state park.
Wow.
And Congress signed the act. So I think it may have been, kind of part of the New Deal stuff that was going on.
Yeah, that's good
and
stuff.
then it was designated as an International Biosphere Reserve in 1976.
That sounds fantastic. You think aliens land there?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
Marfa's so weird.
just kidding. I don't know. But hey, I'm not going to claim to be an expert on this because I've never been there. It's one of those things that I want to go to.
Well, I am a self-proclaimed expert. Big Ben.
Yeah,
Just
right,
kidding.
Right.
I proclaim
that I'm an expert.
Well, it's one of those things where I can see. I've got plenty of friends that's what they do, and when they want to like get off the grid, when they want to really just enjoy kind of what God's given us, and just again kind of unplug and get off the grid, this is a great place to go. So I looked at going there over spring break, and it's just booked. All the sites are booked. All their little hotels are booked. All their and so when you look at the visitation over the years, it's just continued to go up and up and up. So you can just see, going back to my theory of people are desperate to get off of their devices, even though they don't know it. This is one of those areas where you can go and truly unplug and just get out, get unplugged, be with your family or your friends or your loved ones or whatever, and just go see stuff and just be, in God's green earth. So.
And the weather's good year round. I mean, like this time of the year, it's averaging in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And then even in the summer, it'll get up to like the high 90s, but that's not brutal.
Yeah, and the one thing I was reading about the predators, or even the wildlife in general, is they say that all the activity is done at night. Because it is brutal in the summer. It can it's very, very hot, and so most of the activity is done at night. So just if you do go, just be careful, stay well hydrated, and make sure other people know where you're going, all that kind of stuff. Because if you truly go off the grid, if you get your mountain bike and just go crazy and try to tent it or whatever, just be careful.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Okay, Big Ben, any ranch updates? What's going on the ranch? You getting all ready for your spring crops or anything like that?
Not yet, no. Chickens are doing good. Horses doing good. Horses broke into the barn the other night and ate a whole bag and a half of horse feed. So that was fun.
That happened to me. Maybelle and Alice broke into the barn the other day, and they ate probably 3 bales of hay. It was so obnoxious. But one big announcement for me is that my neighbors to the back, Kathy and Patrick, they somehow negotiated this deal across the street with these brothers who own, a couple hundred acres across from us. I'm pretty landlocked on my place with just 5 acres, but I've always wanted more cows. And so they've negotiated this deal where I think we're going to get it for 4 years, and we're going to be able to put some more cows over there. And so I'm going to be able to get some more heifers.
How much land?
It's about 100 acres.
Oh,
yeah.
You put a lot
so
up
they want around 10 or so cows at least over there, and then we'll split that basically between us and them. So which will be super fun.
Oh, very cool
for me. So, and I'm hoping that's kind of a bullless area. We just kind of keep growing heifers over there and introduce the bull at the appropriate time.
Now you got to get some horses back so you can go get the cows.
Well, that's possible. Maybe I can go get my horse named Legend that I've always wanted. I've always wanted a great big dark brown horse named Legend. Just because I think it sounds cool. Wear my cowboy hat and just ride around and chase, bulls and stuff.
Get you a felt hat.
I will.
Yeah.
Totally will. So, but anyway, and then I'm about to put my certificate in for my new chickens. Amy gave me for Christmas my chicken certificate.
So they have some now?
I don't know. I got to go check, but I'm ready for new chickens because my chickens are I'd say they're laying an egg, but they're not laying an egg. They're making me mad because of all this rain and cold and whatever that we're having.
Ours are laying like crazy. Kendra,
So
there's
good.
like 100 eggs out there.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know why yours are not.
I think mine are kind of at the ebbing stage of their laying days.
Pretty old.
My 8 ladies are more in their mature years,
Yeah.
and they're just slowing down. Maybe I ought to just let them out and let the dogs eat them all.
Well, you never had a Hawknado to balance out the flock.
But I got 4 dogs, and all I got to do is let them out one day, and they'll all be, chewed up.
That's terrible.
I'm not going to do that. Anyway.
Shout out to PETA.
Yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Peter.
So, hey, well, thanks for listening to our episode on Big Ben. I encourage you. I know I'm encouraged to go and see it and hike, and I'm scared to. Did I ever tell you about the last time I went mountain biking?
I don't know.
Yeah, so a buddy of mine in Baton Rouge, she said, hey, Kyle, come with me, and we're going to go. And we'd gone a few times. And the last time I went, I crashed 5 times. And the very last time, I hit this sand pit on this way down, and I did a Superman over the handlebars.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I went mountain biking.
Okay.
because I'm just like, I'm too old for this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not doing Superman over the handlebars.
So, are you saying you want to do this in Big Bend, or you don't?
If it's a gentle, nice, sweet little trail,
You
but
don't
no,
need to.
I don't think so. I think I'd just rather walk. But it is handy having a bike with you, though. You know,
Yeah.
that's handy.
Yeah.
You just really make some time.
Right.
You hit a rattlesnake, you just keep going.
Right.
Anywho,
It's just funny. I crashed 5 times into the Superman, but
yeah.
maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it out in Big Bend. I'll do it.
I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. Well, hey, thank you all so much for listening. I hope you all have a great week.
All right. Look us up on iTunes. Give us a review. Adios. Bye.
See ya.